welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a declutter of my entire makeup collection. So it's something that I haven't done before. Kind of just been collecting makeup ever since, well, really ever since the pandemic started. I figured I needed to do it anyway, might as well just go ahead and film it. I personally love watching declutter videos. I could watch them all day long. I just think it's so interesting to see what's in people's makeup collections. I mean, it's just good tea, you know? Just some of that good tea. I would love it if you like this style of video. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It does help me out quite a bit. Also, feel free to comment down below some video ideas for future videos. I imagine 2021 is going to be a pretty long year, so we got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of time to fill. And then lastly, I would love it if you stuck around and hit the subscribe button, and yeah, let's be friends. All right, so yeah, let's just go ahead and get right to it. Okay, so we're in my sunroom right now, and I kind of just pulled out all of my makeup. Most of them are in like these little acrylic containers, and that's usually how I store it. It's just in my bathroom. And there are some palettes that are just like kind of loose on their own. So yeah, lots of stuff. It's kind of overwhelming. It's probably gonna be a long day, but yeah, I think right now I'm just gonna go ahead and take everything out and then just go ahead and start organizing it into their own categories. I don't even know where to start. So yeah, these are all my complexion products. I have all my face palettes over here, lots of bronzers, blushes, highlighters, all my powders, and then my mini foundations and glowy primers. I think first I'm gonna start with my primers and moisturizers. So this is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I actually really like this as a primer. I don't use it often, but I like having it, so I'm gonna keep it. So I also bought this e.l.f. Poreless Primer. This one is like a liquid. I don't know, it's just something about it. It's just kind of gross to me. I don't really wear primers very often, so I think I'm actually just gonna get rid of this one. I think I'm gonna keep all three of these glowy primers. This is by Honest Beauty. It's a really pretty primer. Yeah, that one's like a gorgeous primer. It'll just leave your skin so nice and glowy, but without being like too much. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, and then the other two, L'Oreal True Match Limited Lotion and then the Milani Soft Focus Glow. Both of them are kind of the same. Maybe I should try and get one of them. You know what, I think I'm gonna move this one to the side. I'm gonna think about this. This is gonna be in a maybe pile, we'll see. The Limited Lotion, I know I really like this one. I use it a lot during summer. It's not my shade right now. It's like the medium glow, but I do really like this one and it makes my skin look really pretty. So I think I'm gonna keep this one. This Burt's Bees Goodness Glow. I actually did really like this one in the summer. It's not my shade right now. This is Warm Honey and it's way too deep, but I think it's gone bad. It's starting to like separate the color from the lotion. And yeah, I kind of don't really want to put that on my face anymore. So I'm going to declutter this one. So I actually just got this 4-in-1 tinted moisturizer from Pure. I actually really like this, so I think I'm gonna keep it, and I just got it, so I still need to use it a lot more. I really haven't gotten much use from it yet, but yeah, it really blends in really nicely with my skin. So I think I'm gonna keep that. These two, the CoverGirl BB cream, as well as the Physicians Formula Natural Defense. These are both tinted moisturizer. Well, this one's not. This is a sheer foundation, but they're basically both act as tinted moisturizers for me. I don't like the shades of either of these, and I think this one actually ended up breaking me out quite a bit. Like every time I wore it, I got the breakout, which yeah, I'm not about that life, so I'm getting rid of this one for sure. And this one's just not really my shade, and it also kind of dries down to a weird flaky texture. Like it kind of got I don't know, kind of got weird and flaky on me throughout the day as I wore this. And I tried this multiple times with multiple primers, multiple moisturizers, and yeah, I can never get this to work for me. So this is also going to leave. My last highlighty thing is this iconic blended illuminator. I actually, believe it or not, I actually really like it. But it's just like so pretty, and yeah, it just gives me such an effortless glow. And this is my only like liquid highlighter, I think. I mean, I know I had the other two, but those are like primers. But yeah, this is just like such a beautiful glow, and I just really like it. So I think I'm gonna keep this. So now we're kind of down to the hard parts. My foundations. I have a hard time getting rid of foundations. So let's start with the ones that I know I'm for sure gonna keep. I'm definitely gonna keep this Rare Beauty foundation. This one is really one of the only ones that's actually my shade right now. A lot of these are way too dark for me. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna keep this one. This is in the shade 180W, by the way, if you use me for color matching for anything. But yeah, this one's beautiful. Really, really like the coverage on this, and just the way it wears and feels is really nice. So definitely keeping that. Ooh, this is so hard. I also really like the Fenty Hydrating Foundation. I have mine in the shade 235. It's like a medium peach color. It's just not my color right now. It's just way too dark. I can usually make it work with powder, like a really light powder, but it just makes my skin look kind of heavy right now. So I'm gonna hold on to this. It's not bad yet. I just used it the other day. So I'm gonna keep it. This L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. This is so beautiful. I wish that the undertones were different. I can't find an undertone that actually matches me. I have like a pretty olivey skin tone. And this is kind of a little pink on me. And this is in the shade 50 Golden Beige. So yeah, you can tell it's like pretty orange and kind of peachy, and I'm just a little bit more olivey than that. But either way, I love it. It still works. I'm gonna keep it and finish the rest of that bottle. Okay. The other one that I'm for sure gonna keep is this Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint Foundation, purely because it was kind of expensive and I don't love it, which I should probably get rid of it. But yeah, I don't know. I actually do like it on lighter skin coverage days. It's so sheer. It's like the sheerest foundation that I have. But sometimes it's kind of nice, and I do reach for it every once in a while, so I'm gonna keep this. Next, I'm also for sure gonna keep this number 7 Lift and Illuminate foundation. This is also a serum foundation. I believe this is in the shade Honey. Yes. This one has a pump, and I actually have another number 7 foundation also in this shade Honey. And this one is like so weird. I hate the packaging. It's this weird dropper thing, and I just can't get it to like come out of the tube. It's like way too thick to be used but with a dropper. I'm pretty sure all the reviews were like absolute trash for this product just because of how little comes out. I don't know if you can see that, but that's like one little dropper full. So you have to do that like 4 or 5 times. So I think I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile. I might actually get rid of this one. The only reason I'm thinking about holding on to it is if I could find a way to like scrape the foundation out of here and move it into this one, that'd be really nice. Because the shades are the same and I do actually really like it. This is like the most olivey foundation that I own, so that's why I really want to keep it. I think it's such a lovely shade for me. It's kind of closer to my summer skin, but just the undertone is so perfect that like I just want to hold on to it. So I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile. We'll think about it. I'm definitely gonna keep this one though. Next, I'm definitely gonna keep this Milani Screen Queen. It's shade 130 Warm Linen. So it kind of has a yellow undertone and it really works out pretty nicely for my skin. It is pretty light, so I can't wear this by itself. I usually mix this one with one that's a little too dark or one that has an undertone that's a little different. So it works really well with this L'Oreal one, so I think I'm gonna keep these two. I also really like this ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Foundation. Again, this is one of those ones that it is a summer shade, so I can't really wear it right now, but I still really like it, even though the cap is like super dirty. But gonna keep that. This is my Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. I do really like the formula, but I think the shade never really worked for me. This is the shade Warm Vanilla, and I did self-tan a little bit over the summer. And once I was like really self-tanned, like the extra dark shade, I could get this one to work, but I don't remember how it looked on my skin. I think it was almost always too dark every time I tried. But the formula is really good, so that's why I kind of want to keep it. Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful. It's really, really creamy. I just don't know if I'm gonna ever make that color work for me. It's like straight orange, which you kind of can't really tell on camera, but in person it's just so orange. I'm gonna put that on my maybe pile as well. We'll think about that one. Oh, and again, this one is the Rare Beauty shade. I'm using this for comparison. Now I'm gonna say what foundation. I do really like the formula of this, but again, summer shade. This was really expensive, so I'm not gonna get rid of it. I'm just like that with foundations. If I paid a lot of money for it, I'm going to use the whole thing. So I'm definitely keeping this one. It's going in my summer collection though. Next is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Foundation. So this was actually one of the first expensive foundations that I tried. And I don't know, I have a lot of sentimental value for it, but this is the shade 16 Sandstone, so it is fairly deep for me right now. Definitely a summer shade. I don't know why I have so many summer foundations. This is kind of ridiculous, but I will be good to go in the summer, I guess. This one is a beautiful, beautiful coverage. It looks really natural, and I'm gonna keep it. Oh goodness, Joi, truly yours. I don't know about this one. This is high coverage, like completely full coverage. And it's in the shade Natural Beige. And I just don't know if this color is gonna work for me. So this is like a matte foundation, and I don't know about this one. I think I'm gonna keep trying this one because I didn't get the chance to use it very much. The only problem I have with it is it says it's a natural finish, and it's definitely more of a matte, and it oxidizes down another shade. So after it dries, it really just, I don't know, I remember this not looking that great the first time I tried it, but I haven't tried it for a very long time. So I think I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna try it again. All right, next I'm gonna go through my concealers. I only have 3. I did a pretty good job of not going too crazy on concealers. This one is a really light shade. It's in the shade Light Beige. I feel like it's gonna go bad soon. It's kind of like chunkier than I remember it being. But I do really like it, and I use it a lot. I think I may just need to get another concealer that's in a light shade so I can let go of this one, because I do use that for that purpose of like brightening my under eyes. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this one. I like it. I again only have 3, so I don't feel that bad about it. This Kosas Revealer concealer is the best concealer I ever tried. It is a little pricey, but it's so worth it to me. It's just really nice and creamy, and it's really forgiving on lines. It kind of just smooths over lines on your under eyes. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping this one. There's no reason for me not to. And then lastly, I tried this Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer. This is in the shade 02 Bisque, and it's kind of pinky for me, especially when you put them next to the other concealers. It's definitely more pinky than my other 2. But it is a nice medium between these 2. This one is in the shade 4, by the way, and then this one is in the shade, I already said Light Beige. So you can tell this is like much lighter. This is very dark. I use this a lot in the summer. And then this one is like a weird medium. I may actually get rid of this because it is so pink, but I don't know. It's such a beautiful formulation, and I hate repurchasing something that I already had. Like, I hate buying a new shade. Is that just me? And again, I only have 3, so I'm just gonna keep it. Man, I'm so good at decluttering. Jeez. Oh, I actually missed a foundation. So this is my Honest Beauty cream foundation in the shade Linen. So she's a hot mess. I hit pan on it a while ago, and I'm pretty close to finishing it. I actually use this one as a concealer sometimes, but it is kind of dark, so I use it as a concealer / foundation in the summer more. How many times can I say summer? But it's really, really nice. As you can see, it just like blends into the skin. You can barely even tell that I swatched it on my hand, but I think I'm gonna keep that as well. Okay, so I think next I'm going to do my powders. So I have 2 tinted powders. One is the Believe Beauty loose powder, and this is in the shade Light Medium. I haven't used this in a really long time. It's kind of deep, honestly. Something to consider. I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile because I don't reach for it very often and I don't see myself reaching for it in the near future. Just not with the way I do my makeup anymore. I mean, I guess I could use like this as like a foundation, like a loose powder foundation, but I just never do that. So I'm gonna put this in the maybe. This one, I kind of regret purchasing this size. This is the Fenty Beauty Loose Setting Powder in the shade Banana. And again, this one kind of just makes my makeup too dark if I wear it with like a certain shade of foundation. So I just never reach for this one. I think I'm gonna keep it just because I have a lot left and I want to at least make a little bit more of a dent in it before getting rid of it. And I think I can use it coming up pretty soon in the spring whenever my skin gets a little more tan. But yeah, it's a nice powder. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I never do extra steps if I don't have to, and this is kind of an extra step for me. Okay, next. Okay, I'm for sure gonna keep this CoverGirl Clean Fresh foundation. This is also in the shade Light, I believe. Yeah, 140 Light. And it's really, really nice and velvety. I absolutely love it. I use it as a powder foundation on like coverage days or days that I wear a mask. It's just really nice and it blends in so seamlessly and I absolutely love it. Gonna keep it for sure, for sure, for sure. The other one that I'm also gonna keep is this Ofra Banana Powder. I actually just recently got this, I think last month in a BoxyCharm. And yeah, it's also one of those ones that's just like so nice and velvety. And it looks so good on my under eyes. So yeah, if anything, I use this to set my makeup a lot. I use it a lot more than a loose powder. It's just really nice. So gonna keep it. Also, this Honest Beauty setting powder, loose blurring powder. I'm gonna keep this one as well. It's kind of yellow tinted, so it's kind of hard to wear in the winter since I just mentioned all of my foundations are pretty much too dark, so I never want to add extra color to my face. It just makes it look really heavy and like even more obvious that it's not my shade. So I don't reach for this one right now, but I definitely will be using the rest of it because I absolutely love it. So that's the tea on that. Gonna keep it. So this one is kind of sad. I actually feel really bad about this one. This is the Rose All Day Set and Glow. And so this is like a weird little cream situation that you can use to set your face. I don't know why you would do that, but it's just like a weird little like glittery situation. I don't know. I would never use that on my face. But this is really what I bought this for. Was for the glowy setting powder, but it's just so outrageously white and it never goes away. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's just like, it leaves such a bad white cast on my face. And it just, I've never been able to like wear this and be okay with it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day and get rid of this one. So next we have the Maybelline Master Fix loose powder. I think I'm going to keep this one. I actually don't know if you can tell, but I don't have a lot left. I'm really close to finishing this up. Right now this is in my everyday makeup bag and I pretty much use it every day. And yeah, it's been a nice powder. I'm kind of just trying to get rid of it. Gonna keep it, should be gone within, I would say probably within the month. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm also gonna keep this Beauty Bakery flour powder. This is, again, is a loose powder. This is in the translucent shade. And this is basically my backup for when I run out of this one. I think next I'm gonna go ahead and work on the blushes and the cheek products. So these are all of my cheek products that I have. I have my bronzers, my blushes, and then a couple of highlighters. So I think I'll start with the highlighters first. Okay, so I'm definitely keeping this Becca Skin Perfecting Powder in the shade Champagne Pop. It's just such a lovely champagne gold. And I use this as my everyday highlight and it pretty much stays in my makeup bag at all times, no matter where I am. So I love this one. I will probably never get rid of this. I will use it until it's gone. The next two are these two highlighters. These two I kind of just use on top of setting powder. So these kind of undo the effect of powder. It makes my face less flat and actually gives it some dimension. So I use these just all over my face and with a, what am I trying to say? Loose powder brush, there we go. And so this is Nabla Skin Glazing Highlight in the shade Ozone. It's a lot lighter than my Becca one, but it just looks so beautiful on the skin. It's this one, by the way. It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, so I'm definitely gonna keep this one. Also, it's fairly new in my collection, so I really like it still. And then this is the Essence Pure Nude Highlight. And this is in the shade Be My Highlight, which is the lighter of the two that they have. And again, same thing with this one. This kind of works perfectly as like a glowy setting powder. I just put this one on top of powders and it looks beautiful. So this one is kind of a little bit more pinky than the other two. And yeah, all three of them are really pretty miraculous on their own. I use them mostly for different reasons. This one I use as a true highlight just on top of my cheekbones. And then these two I use as extra setting powders. So yeah, I absolutely love all three of these. The one I'm not so sure about is this Wet n Wild highlighting powder in the shade Golden Flower Crown. The reason I'm not so sure about it, I think it's just my winter summer complex, but this one is also really golden, but it's like a little bit more golden than the Champagne Pop one, and it's kind of hard to justify keeping both of them. This one's a little bit more chunky than the Becca one, and it's kind of a little bit more noticeable, which I don't absolutely love. But the reason I'm thinking about keeping this one is because I do use it a lot more in the summer, and I think I'm gonna hold on to it. I just can't see myself parting with it. It's so sad. Okay, so some easy passes for me is this Maybelline Cheek Heat blush. It's just horrible. There's nothing good about this. It's pretty terrible. It takes off your foundation underneath it, and it's very, very water-based, so it really kind of just breaks down everything on your face. It really doesn't play well with others, and it barely gives any color on its own too. You can see that was like one whole drop full. That should be more than that, and it's still so sheer. So I'm gonna get rid of that. I don't love it, and I've kind of just had it sitting around for a long time for no reason. I'm definitely gonna keep this Essence, the blush. This is in the shade Befitting, and it's just a nice cool tone pink, and I really like it. It's very thin, and it's really easy to travel with. So hopefully whenever we are able to travel again, this one will be going with me. But yeah, I really like it. It's a nice matte pink, and it's kind of the only one like it in my collection. Most of my blushes are very peachy, so gonna keep this one. Next is the Balm. This is the In-Stain blush in the shade Swiss Dot. So like I was saying, this is one of those peachy blushes that, I don't know, it's kind of unremarkable. I always forget about it, and I just don't know if I want to keep it anymore. So that one right there, I don't know. I think I'll think about it. I think I'm gonna swatch some of these other ones and see how I feel about it. If some of the other ones are kind of close to it, then maybe I won't keep it. Yeah, see, those two are so similar. Like on my face, I feel like that's gonna look like the same thing. Ooh, I don't know. I'll put this in my maybe pile, because I do reach for this one a lot more. This is the Burt's Bees blush in the shade Fresh Apricot. They pretty much look the exact same. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely gonna keep this Milani Baked Blush. I have two of them. This one that I've had forever. I think I've literally had it since high school. I don't know when blushes like this expire, but as you can see, I've made like quite the dent in it. But I absolutely love it. It just makes my skin look so pretty. But this one stays in my everyday makeup bag that I most often work from. But yeah, so it's like this corally, peachy, shimmery blush. And yeah, it just makes my skin look really pretty and really healthy. So I'm gonna keep that one. I hate the packaging though. It's so thick and chunky, but absolutely love the blush. Gonna keep that. I don't know about keeping this one though. This baked blush is in a lighter shade. It's called Rosé Romantica. To me, this one is almost like a highlighter, just like a pink highlighter. And it kind of is in a different category as this one. I don't even know if you can see it on camera, but this one is like very light, very pink, and almost like silvery. I use this as like a blush topper, but is it worth keeping? You know, I think it is. I think it's so unique in my collection. I don't have anything else that looks like it, so I'm gonna keep it. Again, hate the packaging of these, but it is really nice, so I'm gonna kind of keep the product itself. Okay, so lastly, we have all of my cream blushes. Okay, so here are all of my cream blushes. They're all fairly different from each other. This one is like a bright red. This is the Fenty Beauty Cream Blush in the shade Daiquiri Dip. And it's just so small that I feel like it's like not hurting anybody, you know? But yeah, this one's like crazy red. And then I have my Honest Beauty cream blushes. I have 3 of them. This is in the shade Coral Peach. This one is Rose Pink. And then this one is Plum Berry. And I like them all quite a bit. As you can tell, they're all very, very different. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep them all. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Absolutely love them. No reason to get rid of them. So gonna keep them. And then finally I have this Patrick Ta blush. This is in the shade She's So LA. This is a double blush. It has a powder formula as well as a cream formula. The powder one is a lot different of a color than the cream one. The colors look different to me. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep it, but just swatching them next to each other is very helpful for me. So this is the powder formula and this is the cream formula. Kind of just like disappeared, honestly. It's really not as good as the Honest Beauty Cream blushes. Yeah, it's kind of just like an interesting brown color. I think the colors look a little different, but I do like the fact that this cream blush dries down quite a bit more than the other 4. So I guess that's something. I don't know. But they also do kind of look very similar to this rose pink shade whenever it's actually on the cheeks. But I think I'm gonna keep this. It's pretty different from anything else that I have, and I do still like it. I don't use it as much as I thought I was going to. Like, I'm not completely blown away by it, but I like the one that I have, so I'm gonna keep it. Okay, so one that I think I'm gonna get rid of is this Physicians Formula Dewy Blush Elixir, simply because I don't really have the space for it. It doesn't really fit in with my other cream blushes. And it also looks really similar to the rose pink shade of the Honest Beauty blush that I already have. And I just don't know if I need this. It's kind of hard to work with too in that regard. Similar to the Maybelline Cheek Heat product. It's just kind of hard to work with, and for that reason I don't reach for it as much. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this. Now I'm going to go through my bronzers. So first is this Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and this is actually a stick foundation. This is in the shade Almond. I thought I was gonna use this a lot and I just never use it. Like, I never reach for it. It's a beautiful bronzer color, and I used it maybe only a handful of times, but I think I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile for now. It's not a complete no, because I do still really like it, but I just don't know if I should keep it. So yeah, it's going in the maybe. My only other cream bronzer is this Fenty cream bronzer in the shade Macchiato. I really, really like it. I don't use it as much anymore in the winter, but I think that will change with masks, quite honestly. I think that's the main reason why I don't wear a lot of cream products as much as I used to. It's kind of gets stuck in my mask a lot, but it's such a beautiful shade and it's much lighter and much more natural than this one. So I think I'm gonna keep this one and get rid of the other one now that I thought it through. I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna get rid of it. Lastly, we have my 3 bronzers, and I think I'm gonna keep all 3. This is the Aesthetica bronzer in the shade Sunset. I really like this one, mostly because of the packaging. There's nothing special as far as the bronzer formula goes. It's just a nice matte bronzer, and this is also my only other matte bronzer. So I'm gonna keep both of them. I get a lot of use out of both of them, and this is actually showing up a lot lighter than it usually does. But yeah, so that's the Aesthetica one, and then this is the Milani one. I'm probably gonna keep both of these forever. They kind of won't leave me in that regard, but yeah, they look pretty similar. They're basically the same product, but I like both of them. I'm gonna keep both of them. Lastly is my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I love this bronzer. It just doesn't love me. It's just so chunky. I can't stand this. This is so chunky. This is so unnecessary. But I'm gonna keep it because I use it a lot. And it's like a really shimmery, nice bronzer color. And it looks very, very natural on the skin. This is a bronzer that I would wear by itself and not feel like I needed to use blush. So I'm gonna keep this. So next I'm gonna move on to my face palettes. I have 6 of them total. I use a lot of these, a lot. So I don't know if I'm gonna be getting rid of any of these. I will for sure be keeping this Haus Labs blush and highlighter duo. This is, again, 2 unique shades for me. This is a pink highlighter and then a deep rose pink blush, powder blush that I really, really like. Guess I could go and swatch these. But yeah, I really like them. So the highlighter is crazy pink. I really like it. And yeah, the blush is just a nice rose pink blush. And I like having it in this little duo. It's nice and travel friendly. Gonna keep that. Finally, not finally, I just started. What is going on? So this Ace Beauté Bronzed in Paradise bronzer palette. I really like this, especially when I'm in between shades, and I like it, so I'm gonna keep it. And it's nice for whenever you're in between shades, like I already said. So love that. The one thing I don't like this one really at all. It just doesn't really do much for me. This is the Joa Be My Everything Blush and Bronze palette, and these shades just aren't really, I don't know, they don't really work for my skin tone. So this is supposed to be a bronzer, and it looks like a setting powder, honestly. Like, it doesn't look like a bronzer. And I just don't know if I'll ever be able to get that to look like a bronzer on me. So I think I'm gonna get rid of the whole thing. It's just kind of bulky and gets in the way, and I don't use it as much as I should. I've had it for so long. I've had like plenty of opportunity to use it. And like, look, even that blush, it's like so light. Like, who is this for? I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of this. I never use it, and I don't think I ever will. So I'm definitely gonna keep this Hourglass Holiday palette. You have 1 blush, 1 bronzer, 1 highlight, and 1 setting powder. And I really like it. I don't use it as much as I thought I was going to, but I still really like it, and it was pretty expensive, so I'm gonna keep that. Next is this Too Faced Natural Face palette. I got so much use out of this in the summer. I got this for my birthday, and I still really like it. I only use it every once in a while, mostly for the blushes and the bronzers. But yeah, I think the shades are really unique. I think they smell really good, and I'm gonna keep it. All right, so this Zoeva Opulence palette. This is also a pretty nice face palette. This has 2 blushes and a highlighter. I think these blushes are super unique, so I will probably keep this whole palette. I really like the formula of it. And the highlighter is super, super pretty. It's kind of like a silver highlight, and I don't have a plain highlighter like that. So sometimes more is something more. But yeah, I really like this. I love the brand too, so I'm gonna keep it. So the last products are my eyebrow products. This is a product that I'm for sure gonna keep. This is my e.l.f. brow wax stick. It's literally just a wax stick, and it keeps your eyebrows up and in place all day. I really like it, and I don't have anything else like it, so I'm gonna keep it. You know what? I think I'm gonna keep all of them. There's no reason for me to go through every single one of these. So that's that. I don't need 5, but I'm working through them all. I'm just gonna be on this little brow journey. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put up everything that I said yes to, and I'm gonna leave out my maybes, so let's go and start organizing that. Okay, so this is pretty much everything for all my complexion products, all my face palettes, my primers and foundations, and then my powders and cheek products are all in this one. So yeah, it looks a lot better. Okay, hi, it's Editing Joy. So I was just going through the footage. I completely edited down all the clips as much as I possibly could, and I was left with 1 hour and 3 minutes of video. So yeah, I think that I'm definitely gonna have to split this up into 2 parts. I didn't really want to do that just because it's kind of like one cohesive declutter of my entire collection, and it's kind of hard to split it up, but I think here's a good stopping point. So I just decluttered all of my complexion products. Yeah, in part 2, I will declutter my eyeshadows and mascaras, lipsticks, all that good stuff. I personally like watching declutters just to know what people are keeping in their collections. Like, what's something that someone bought that they think is so worth it that they're gonna keep it around, you know, into the next year and into the next year. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I will see you on Friday. Bye.